Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Will you please state and spell your name for the record?
Racheal Martin, Racheal Martin.
And Ms. Martin, what is your proper title currently in your position?
I'm a crime scene investigator.
So is it all right if I call you Investigator Martin?
Yes.
Now, Investigator Martin, how are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office in the Crime Scene Investigation Unit.
How long is it that you've been employed in that division?
I went over to the Crime Scene Investigation Unit in 2019.
So roughly 6 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
And what sort of training or experience did you need to have in order to start in the Crime Scene Investigations Unit?
So you have to be a certified peace officer through the state of Texas. I'm an intermediate peace officer.
And we've heard some testimony from other officers about to become a peace officer, you must go through an academy and get TCOL certified. Is that the same path that you took?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And you said you hold an intermediate peace officer license?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, was your entirety of your law enforcement career spent in the crime scene unit?
No, ma'am, I was not.
Where else were you?
I began with the Sheriff's Office in 2014 in the Corrections Division. Made the decision to attend the Police Academy in 2015. Graduated from the Police Academy in 2016, where I remained employed with the Corrections Division until I came to the Crime Scene Unit in 2019.
And so when you're employed with the Corrections Division, what does that mean?
You're employed and you work in the jail.
Okay. So what is generally the crime scene unit?
So we respond to all major and some minor calls, anything from burglaries to homicides. We do a thorough investigation and then follow up any type of processing or laboratory runs, anything like that.
Now, other than your intermediate peace officer license, do you have any sort of extra training or credentials that you've obtained in order to aid in your job?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
What are they?
Okay, so I have roughly over 3,000 TCOL hours. TCOL is the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. It's basically the governing certification board for the state of Texas for peace officers and jailers. I have a property and evidence certification through TEACS, which is an extension program through A&M for peace officer training. I have a property and evidence certification through TAPIT, which is another certifying body for property and evidence. I am an advanced fingerprint analyst. I received that training, basic, intermediate, and then my advanced through TechStack, which is just a training, what would you call it, like someone who provides training to peace officers, a training body. And I'm also a palm print analyst through that same training coordinator. Also through TEACS, I have my Forensic Investigator 1 certification and then my Forensic and Investigative Sciences certification as well. I'm a NIBIN operator. That's basically a national ballistics database that we input information into, and it gives us a readout. It's also known as IBIS, just an integrated ballistics system. I'm also a ballistics IQ operator. That is basically our triage software. It provides us with a local database for ballistic information, as well as it triages the ballistics information to give us the best quality output to put into NIBIN, which was the operating system I spoke about first. I'm a CDR operator, which is a crash data retrieval. It's a hardware and a software system. Any vehicle that is involved in a crash, we can utilize this hardware and software programs to pull any type of data from any of the airbag modules or any other modules that are available, depending on the newness of the vehicle and its abilities. I'm certified as a crime scene investigator through the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification. It is basically a certifying body that gives us a test depending on what level analyst you're going for, and you must pass that test with at least an 80% to be certified. I did a 3-month National Forensics Academy at the University of Tennessee, where I received my crime scene investigator certification as well. They house you in Tennessee for 3 months, and you delve into all the different facets of crime scene, from fingerprints to skeletal retrieval at the body farm. While I was there, I received a basic certification for bloodstain pattern analysis, as well as a basic certification for shooting reconstruction.
Is it fair to say you have a lot of training?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whenever you get assigned to work a case, how is it that it becomes your case?
So we rotate on an on-call basis in our division. So typically, if you're on call, you're the initial investigator that receives that call, that assignment. We do kind of rotate out like major cases, anything that deals with some sort of death or homicide, because you may receive 3 or 4 while you're on your on call, and that's just too much of a workload, so it gets assigned out that way for those. But if you receive like a burglary call or something that you just go work that is on a smaller scale, if you're on the on-call rotation, then you take on that case.
Now, when you are the lead on a case, do you do everything yourself, or how do you approach that?
No, ma'am. So when we receive a case that's on a larger scale, it's typically all hands on deck. So our entire investigative team will come, and then as lead investigator, you will assign out duties to the other investigators to kind of divvy out the workload.
I want to bring your attention to February 6th of 2025. Do you recall that date?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What were you doing on that date?
I was on call.
Okay. And so when you're on call, ultimately who calls you if there's a need for your services?
Typically it's the first responder on scene that gives us a call.
And did you receive a call on that day?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Once you received that call, what did you do?
I was briefed over the phone on what was initially seen on scene, and then I told them that I would be en route to the scene, and then I called my first line of contact, which is my Sergeant Patrick Bryan. I called him, advised him of the details, and then he made the calls then to the other investigators to get everyone over there on scene.
Where was it that you went en route to?
I believe the address is 4723 15th Street in Bacliff.
And while this may sound like a silly question, what county and state is that in?
Galveston County in the state of Texas.
Now, when you arrived to this location, can you tell me what type of location this was?
It was a residential home.
And once you arrived as the lead investigator, what is the first step that you do?
The first thing that we do is we meet with the first responders on scene and get a full rundown in person of what they saw and everything that took place, if anything had been moved or altered from the state when they initially arrived, so that we can go in with that information, but just get all of the details from them before going in and assessing the scene.
And how is it that you have the authority to go into a scene?
So when an unattended death has happened where someone is deceased outside of the medical hospital, it gives us the right to go in and do an investigation.
And then sometimes do you ultimately require a search warrant?
Correct. That is correct.
And in this case, is that essentially what happened?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Now, once you enter a home or a location, what do you do first?
So we do an initial walkthrough, and we basically assess the scene, try to find things that stick out, that look maybe out of place to us, and try to kind of put together an initial ideation of what took place in the residence.
And when you walked into this residence, can you tell me what you observed?
Sure. So initially going through the front door, you walk directly into the living room area. As I looked around the living room, I saw a couple things that stuck out to me. There was an open bag of dog food kind of out of place in the middle of the living room. There was a purse, and then like items, as ladies know how we keep our purse, right? Our receipts, our cards, our business cards, things like that were kind of scattered on the living room floor, which looked out of place. There were firearms sitting in the living room, which seemed a little out of place to me. And then there was some monetary, I can't remember the denomination, but there was some money as well, just kind of laid out on the floor.
And once you looked through this living area, where did you go to next within the home?
We walked through the living room, and then it takes you into the dining room area, which is also connected to the kitchen.
And was there anything out of place or of note within the dining area?
So in the dining room area, the only thing that I really notated was there was a hard case for a firearm that was empty open on the dining room table, but nothing else really stuck out. There was a blue Tupperware bowl with some sort of looked to be like a glitter substance or something on the floor, as if the bowl was housing that substance and had come open in the dining room area.
Okay. And where did you go after the dining area?
Into the kitchen.
And was there anything of note or out of the norm too in the kitchen?
No, not really. It was just a little unkept with the dirty dishes in the sink and some fast food bags and stuff on the counter.
Where did you go after the kitchen?
There's a room just directly, which would be north of the kitchen, which was utilized kind of as like a storage room, but it was also where the washer and dryer were kept as well. So I went into that room next.
And same question, was there anything out of the norm that you believed or something that caught your attention in the utility room?
The utility room was packed pretty full of just random items, maybe kind of used as a storage space. Like I said, there was a little walkway path through the items that you could go, and then towards the end of the back of the room, there was a doorway with a washer and dryer kind of set off to the right, and then things were kind of turned over and laying into the walkway. And then I believe it was the dryer was kind of positioned in front of the door to restrict access from the outside.
From your observation, was that door able to be opened?
No.
After looking through the utility room, where do you go next within the home?
So I walked back through the kitchen, through the dining room, and then on the south wall of the dining room is an opening that leads to a hallway where there's 2 bedrooms and a restroom. So I went into the west end of the hallway, which is to the right, to the bedroom, the far west bedroom.
And what was your observation about the far right bedroom?
That bedroom was just kind of utilized as a storage area as well. Kind of like the other utility room, there was a small walkway where you could get through, but it was full of just random personal items. Nothing of note.
After that room, where did you go next?
Into the restroom.
And was there anything of note in the restroom?
No.
And where did you go after that?
I went into the bedroom that was located on the east end of the hallway, along the south wall, and that was Terra's bedroom.
And how could you tell that that was Terra's bedroom?
It was definitely a bedroom for a teenager.
And what were your observations about Terra's bedroom?
The bedroom was kind of unkept, really. Nothing notable in there. The only thing that I saw that kind of struck concern for me was there was a bed, lots of items on top of the bed, so I don't know how anyone slept on there, but there was also a sleeping area that was kind of created underneath a desk area with lots of bottles of yellow liquid in it. But other than that, it was just like a normal teenage bedroom, just posters all over the walls and like figurines, collectibles, and stuff on shelving units.
After leaving Terra's bedroom, what part of the home did you go to next?
I walked back out into the hallway area, into the dining room, and then to the primary bedroom.
And in the primary bedroom, what were your observations?
So walking into the primary bedroom, you are met, it's like a little walkway with walls on both sides, and then it opens up into the entire bedroom. The bed is located on the south wall, which is to your right, and there was items kind of strewn about, messy. There were safes located on the east wall of the room that were opened and basically empty. There was nothing left in them. And then there was items in the bathroom doorway that was kind of like restricting access to be able to walk into the restroom area. And then just like papers that you would normally see like kept somewhere, like your deed to your home and licensing. I think it was like a concealed handgun license and other things. I can refer to my notes if you want specifics, but just random paperwork just kind of laying around looked out of place.
And you said that the safes were open and were empty.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, after you do your walkthrough, what do you do next as part of your investigation?
So we initially went to the decedent, was our next evaluation.
And where was the decedent located?
She was laying on the bed, kind of, so the headboard of the bed was facing south and the footboard was facing north, and she was laying east to west across the bed.
Okay. And at any point during your investigation, did you identify the decedent?
Yes, we did.
And what was her name?
Tammy King.
Okay. Now, what state was Mrs. King in when you saw her?
So we were unable to see a lot of her. Basically, the majority of her upper torso had been covered with linens. So we were unable to initially see any type of injuries or assess her condition. But EMS had already said that there was no signs of life, so we knew she was deceased.
Now, when you say there was a lot of linens on top of her, did those appear to be in a normal way that you would have linens on your bed when you would sleep, or did they appear to look like something else?
No, the linens appear to be placed after the Miss King was deceased.
Okay. Now, after you looked and made an evaluation of Mrs. King, where did you go next?
We backed out of the residence and waited for a search warrant.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
And was that search warrant ultimately obtained?
Yes, it was.
And so once that search warrant is obtained, what do you do?
So we start with photography. We want to document the scene in its entirety as it was when we arrived. So I start on the exterior of the home and I do what we call overall, mid-range, and close-up. So overall, it just basically kind of gives you a picture of what we see with our eyes. Mid-range will show anything that we see that could potentially be of importance to kind of show spatial relation between items on scene. And then close-ups is anything that we identify that we want to get really good photographs of up close. So I start with that on the exterior and then move in and do the same on the interior.
Now, do you know roughly how many photos you took at 4723 Bacliff, 50th Street in Bacliff?
It was roughly about 1,000 photos.
Now, in order to get a good sense of the scene, would somebody need to look at all 1,000 photos?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Your Honor, may I approach? I'm handing you what's been marked, states 119 through 318. Will you take a glance at these and let me know if you recognize them?
While she's looking at that, bathroom breaks. We'll be right back.
All rise for the jury.
We stand in recess for a quick bathroom break. Sergeant, can you go to the restroom? Yes. Okay. Get some water first. That's fine.
I'm sorry, that's probably good.
Bill, do you look at these 200 photographs and see if there are any objections?
There's not going to be objection. They give me everything on this file, but it'll go over everything.
And I'm not going to show all because of that. Okay.
I wanted the jury to have them, but I'm not going to show them all.
Oh, shit. Judge, earlier this year, you and your husband go and stay at Planet Plaza in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Did y'all have fun? We've been there a few months before. We really enjoyed Planet
You
Plaza.
told us.
Yeah.
You told me about it.
Did y'all enjoy it there?
We loved it.
Okay.
It was so much fun in those days. But we were there with a group of probation officers. And so they made it a little more lively.
I'm sure they did.
Than, just us old folks. They get a lot of that young blood and they are energized. They want to go and do things and check things out. And a lot of them are a beautiful exhibit for Chinese New Year.
318
Did you
is
get
the
to see
final.
I did. I heard about it.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. You had drive-ins
Yeah,
and
another one.
canvas, all made out of flowers.
I would love to see that. I've heard about it. We're thinking about maybe going back this year, kind of like the week before Christmas or something like that, that weekend before Christmas. And apparently, when we were there, one of our Uber drivers told us the best territory break she's like, I could go to. Not a lot of people go to that. New Year's is off the roof, and then you got the Super Bowl. And Christmas, they said Christmas is a slow time for them.
Okay, well that's good to know. Maybe try one of the other casinos further down the strip.
Right.
Yeah, because they have some of these
Or 94, yeah, there's 93, but 91, I'm sure I'm going to go.
Michelin
Those
restaurants
are
and
cool,
all,
and then 90.
but there are lots of really great restaurants that we didn't get a chance to go to. We went to the Gordon Ramsay. Oh, are you on? Okay. Thank you. All right, please be seated. We are back on the record. The record will reflect all parties are present. Enter the courtroom. We have a witness on the stand. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I reapproach the witness?
Yes.
Investigator Martin, where we left off is I handed you a rather thick stack of images to review. Have you reviewed these images?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Do you recognize them?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And have they been changed or altered in any way other than the sticker added by the state?
No, ma'am.
Now, Your Honor, state moves to admit states 119 through
318.
318, you're right, Your Honor. I previously tendered to opposing counsel.
No objection.
Hearing no objection, states 119 through 318 will be admitted.
Now, Investigator Martin, may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Now, Investigator Martin, we spoke earlier that you took roughly 1,000 photos on scene at Mrs. King's house, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do these roughly 200 photos give a good cross-section for the jury to observe the scene?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Now, while these are admitted to evidence for the jury, can we get the picture of the scene by showing fewer of these images?
Yes, ma'am.
No problem. To start with states 121, can you let us know what portion of the home we're looking at here?
So that is on the south side of the residence, where the picnic table is. The window right above that is the primary bathroom window.
So the one we're looking at right here, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we see that it is daylight in these images. Was it daylight when we first arrived on scene?
No, ma'am, it was not.
In state 139, is this a better image of what the scene looked like when you first arrived?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And what portion of the home is this?
This is the front portion of the home that faces the roadway, with the driveway to your left, and then the front door kind of in the center of the photograph.
Moving to state 146 and 147, what are you documenting here?
I am documenting the primary restroom window where it had been broken and entered.
Now in state 165, what are we documenting?
This is at the rear of the residence. The door that I spoke of that was inside the utility room that led to the outside, this is that back door.
And in 166, what are we looking at here?
There was a small window in the middle of the door that had been broken. I was just documenting the damage.
And in 167, can you explain this image to us a little bit?
And so that shows that the door is ajar, but that as far as the door would open.
And is this the back door you spoke of earlier that had a washer or dryer in front of it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And so after you fully document the exterior of the home, you stated that you document the interior in a similar way, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Now in stage 177, what are we looking at?
That's the exterior of the residence. There is a carport kind of adjacent to the residence, almost connected, that is enclosed kind of with brown, like tarp material kind of curtains.
And inside that carport area, what was in there?
Just random stuff that you would store in like a utility shed, like bicycles and lawn mowers, just things that you would typically find in like a storage shed.
And within the same room, what else was there? What are we looking at?
So that is documents that were located on top of that wooden, I guess, kind of table that was also inside that little storage area.
And in 179, can you let us know what you're documenting or why this was notable for you?
So there was a name present on the document. I was just documenting the name.
And while you're documenting, other than Mrs. King and maybe Terra who lives in the home, do you really know anything about what has occurred at this point, or you're just documenting first?
No, ma'am, I don't know anything that's occurred. I'm just documenting at this point. is a photograph of the living room area of the residence from the, I guess, foyer or front door of the residence, just inside the front door.
And earlier when I asked you what was of note in this room, some of the things you stated, correct me if I'm wrong, was the dog food and some cards, correct?
Correct, yes ma'am.
You should have a laser pointer next to you. Are you able to utilize that and let us know where those items are in this image, if you can see them?
Sure. Okay, so there is the bag of dog food here, and then the cards and other items that look to be like purse contents were here on the floor just east of this coffee table.
And is that what we see in 186? Is that a little bit better of a view?
Yes ma'am, right here.
And in 188, what are we looking at?
So this is between the sofa and like end table. In between there were some firearms kind of stored in between the couch and the Christmas tree.
And I want to go back to that a little bit. In 188, can we see what this is towards the kind of bottom middle of 188? Are we able to tell what it is, or would a closer picture be helpful?
Yeah, a closer picture would be helpful.
No.
I don't want to misspeak.
Let's look at 6190. Yeah.
So that is a like purse with prescription bottles.
And was there anything of note about this purse that you observed while at the home?
Yes, there was a red substance on the purse, which appeared to be blood, and then later was a presumptive test was conducted, and it tested positive for blood.
And ultimately, did y'all collect that purse?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm approaching you, Investigator Martin, with what's been temporarily marked as States 91. Will you look at this item and let me know if you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How do you recognize it?
It has my writing, the case number, as well as the original seal on the packaging with my initials and the date.
And does it appear to have been altered or tampered with in any way other than maybe some more evidence stickers?
No.
I'm so sorry, Nick. You're on it. Thank you. I believe you have some gloves. Would you be able to open this and make sure that you also recognize the contents within it?
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And does that appear to be what we were discussing in States 190?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit States 91. If Mr. Agnew would like to come look at it, I don't want to touch it because I don't have gloves on.
No, I'm good, Judge, I have no objection.
States 91 will be admitted.
And Your Honor, may I ask this witness to hold up the item and show the jury?
Yes.
Would you do that for us, please, Mr. Martin? And can you point to us on this item where that presumptive blood was?
It was in this location.
Now, you go ahead and put that, close that up for me, thank you. Thank you. Now, in the living room area where you were documenting, did there appear to be any blood or blood-like looking patterns where this purse was located?
No, ma'am.
Was there any blood or blood-appearing substances that were located anywhere in the living room?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge.
Was there blood located anywhere else inside the home?
Yes, ma'am, there was.
Where was that?
In the primary bedroom.
Okay, so it is now
Noon, and I like to stay consistent if possible. So let's go ahead and take our lunch break, and we will see you back here at 1.
All rise for the church.
Court stands in recess until 1. Jeremy. A little late, one of them, because we had a miscommunication with time. That's not a big deal at all. I'll just have to be a little clearer next time when we're coming back. I usually throw in not island time, actual time, so perhaps you were on island time, but no worries. Okay, we're ready to get going?
Yes, Your
All right, go right ahead.
Honor. May I reapproach the exhibits?
Yes,
And may I republish?
yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Investigator Martin, where we left off, we were going through some of the photos that you took on scene. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, earlier we looked at some of the cards that were left on the floor. Is that what we are looking at in States 193?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And in general, could you tell what types of cards these were?
Not initially. A lot of them were face down. Couldn't tell by the backs of them what exactly they were. But once we collected the evidence, then we were able to see what they were.
And with these cards, whose driver's license did you find?
Tammy King.
And is this Tammy King we see in this driver's license, is that the same Tammy King who is deceased in her bedroom?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now in States 209, zoom in a bit. Earlier you were speaking to us about a blue Tupperware that had some sort of substance in it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you're talking about in this picture?
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Now in States 217, where are we in the home and what are we looking at here?
This is a photograph in the storage/utility room that I was speaking of that was full of the items, but with the walkway that you could get through.
And where would the walkway be in States 217?
It's right here directly in front of me here, but those items look to be kind of toppled over, blocking the end of that walkway.
And where would the door be in this image?
The door is here.
And earlier you talked about the kind of washer dryer looked like it had been moved. Can you explain kind of what we're looking at in states 219?
Sure, so this is walking up that walkway. Those are the items that you saw kind of toppled over, blocking the end of it and blocking the doorway as well. I would assume that the appliances would be aligned, but this appliance, which is the dryer, was pulled forward, blocking a portion of that doorway.
Did that seem to be where all of this stuff, like we're seeing in 221, typically would be?
Unfortunately, I had never been to this residence before, so I don't know how the residence was set up prior to my arrival on that date. But I would assume to utilize the appliances that those items wouldn't be up against the dryer door.
And is part of your job as an investigator, like you said, you haven't been to these locations before, but it's part of your job to look for things that may be out of place.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And so is that something that you noted as this might be out of place?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right, in states 226, what are we identifying?
Excuse me. This is a photograph in the hallway that we spoke about that led to the 2 bedrooms, one belonging to Terra, and then the restroom area. This is at the corner. This leads out into the dining room here, and then this is the door that goes into Terra's bedroom. This is just outside.
And what do we see on top of kind of all that stuff in the center of 226?
It was a magazine to a firearm.
And in states 227, was there anything unique or on this magazine?
Yes, there was.
What was that?
There was a black permanent marker with the initials JK at the bottom of the magazine.
And through your investigation, did you learn who JK was?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Who was JK?
It was Tammy King's husband, who was deceased, I think, a year or 2 prior to this date.
So it had previously belonged, or had markings of the initials of Miss King's husband, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now in states 232, what room is this?
This is the room at the west end of the hallway adjacent to Terra's bedroom next to the restroom.
And this is the room you talked about that just kind of was used as more storage, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So was there anything of evidentiary value that you located within that storage room?
No, ma'am, there was not.
Now in 238, which room is this?
This is Terra King's bedroom.
And is 239 a continuation of that bedroom?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And same with 240?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now, Investigator Martin, in the photos in the master bedroom, do some of the photos in this stack depict Mrs. King?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And so, we know that they're in there, but the jury can look at those on their own time. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, in general, in states 244, is this an overview of Mrs. King's room?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. And what, if anything, is significant about kind of this view that you see?
So as I described earlier, the setup of the bedroom, the headboard here is along the south wall, the footboard is here, and then this is Tammy King here, and this is the upper torso and head area of her with the linens.
Now, you also spoke about something else that was significant within Mrs. King's bedroom, and I believe that was some safes. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in states 47, are you able to direct the jury where those safes were?
Yeah, so they were located here along the east wall of the bedroom in the back corner just outside of the door to the primary bathroom.
And is this the safe that you said looked like for the most part, is empty.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall, was this safe one that used a key or a combination lock, or do you know?
I'm unsure.
No problem. Now, at some point while you're taking photos, is Miss King transported to the medical examiner's office?
Yes, ma'am, she is.
Do you take more photos after Miss King has been transported?
Yes, ma'am.
Before I get to that, you stated earlier there was some papers and things strewn about. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What are we looking at in States 257?
So this is a corner bedpost of Tammy King's bed, and then this was sitting on top, kind of halfway on the bed, halfway on the bedpost.
And then also in States 260, what are we looking at?
That is the floor area next to the bed, and it said house feed and info, and then other looks like something from the DMV's office.
And then in States 258, what is this?
That is a safe that was located at the corner of Miss King's bed.
When you say the corner of Mrs. King's bed, was it sitting on her bed?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay. Now, in States 263, what do we see in this photo?
That is the nightstand that is going to be on the east side of the bed. So if you're looking at the bed, it's going to be on the left-hand side.
And are there any drugs or anything in this photo?
Yes, there are.
What is there?
Marijuana.
Can you use your laser pointer and show us where that marijuana is?
It's located here on these paper plates.
And in State 264, I apologize, what are we documenting?
There were, and this is just a photograph of one, but there was multiple white pills located on the floor of the bedroom, just kind of scattered around. So I took photos of those pills.
And did you identify those pills by chance?
No, I did not.
Okay. In States 266, what are we looking at?
This is the safe that we talked about earlier that was open and pretty much empty. This is a smaller safe next to it with more paperwork just kind of on the floor in front of those safes.
Now, while you're documenting, do you have any way of knowing what, if anything, was previously in the safes?
No, I do not.
And is 267 another image of that same safe?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
In 274, what are you documenting?
So there was a small closet area kind of next to the safes. I think you can kind of see it in the other picture as well. And this was just full of like plastic containers and things that housed ammunition for firearms.
Now, earlier we talked about the purse in the living room having some, what appeared to be blood spatter on it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said there was blood located in other places in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you remind us where that was?
It was on the bed of Tammy King.
And were there multiple items that had blood on them?
Yes, so how we initially identified that some sort of bloodletting event had happened is there was personal items around the body, like a phone charger and water bottles and stuff that had some blood stains on them.
Is that what we are looking at in States 281?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we saw a minute ago there were some pills on the floor, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there also prescriptions located throughout the house or no?
Yes, ma'am, there were.
Okay. Was there anything else of note that you located within Mrs. King's room? That's a very broad question, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Once you identified, as you said, there was a bloodletting event, did you find any weapons or anything that goes with weapons within Mrs. King's room besides the safe?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What did you locate?
So we located a live round, which is basically just the ammo itself that's unfired. We located 2 live rounds, 22 LR, which is a 22 caliber long rifle ammunition, on the floor of the bedroom, one on the floor of the bedroom, and then one kind of nestled in a pile of clothing that was in front of one of the armoires that was along the west wall. I also found a spent 5.56 casing underneath her bed near the head, I guess, of the bed, the headboard of the bed on the floor underneath. And then we also found a tote that had multiple firearms inside the tote in her bedroom as well. And then the closet with the containers of ammunition. And I think there was maybe a firearm or 2 that was in that open safe.
So when we're talking about live ammunition versus spent casing, making sure I understand what you said, live ammunition is going to be an unfired round, and a spent casing is going to be the remainder of a fired round. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And you stated the 2 live rounds were 22 caliber and the spent was 5.56. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Generally, what's the difference there?
If we're just talking about size in reference to ammunition, a 22 caliber ammunition is much smaller in size than a 5.56 ammunition, which is going to be more of a longer, high-powered ammunition as opposed to a 22 caliber.
So, generally speaking, would these 2 calibers of ammunition come from 2 different types of weapons?
Not necessarily. You can have a 22 caliber rifle, and you can have a 5.56 rifle. So you wouldn't have a 5.56 handgun, I guess, unless it would be like an AR pistol. But they could both come from the same type of firearm, but the 5.56 ammunition is going to be more high-powered than a 22.
So could they come from the same type of firearm, but would they come from the same firearm?
No, they would not be fired from the same firearm.
Okay. Now, in States 292, what are we looking at?
That is the floor of Tammy King's bedroom, that just north of the footboard. On the floor, that's the 22 LR ammunition that I discovered. That is the live round, so it hasn't been fired.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Investigator Martin, I'm approaching you with what's been marked as States 116. I'm not going to open it, don't worry. But do you recognize this item?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It has my case number, my name, and then my initials and date on the original seal of the evidence.
Now, other than some stickers from the state and the lab, does it appear to have been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, state's going to move to admit States 116 to agree to opposing counsel.
No objection.
States 116 will be admitted.
And Investigator Martin, what is States 116?
It is the 22 round that was located on the floor.
So it's the physical item that we are seeing in States 292, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You also found another live round, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach this witness again? Yes. Similarly, I have handed you what's been marked as States 118. Will you let me know if you recognize this item?
Yes, I do.
And same question, how do you recognize it?
It has the case number, my name, and my initials and date on the original seal.
And other than any stickering added by the state or the lab, does it appear to have been altered in any way?
No, it has not.
Your Honor, statement is to omit States 118.
No objection.
Okay, there are no objections. State 118 will be admitted.
Investigator Martin, what is States 118?
It is the live round that was located and collected from the pile of clothing in front of the armoire along the west wall.
Is that what we see in States 312?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now, you also stated that you found a shell casing or a spent round. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was that .556 caliber?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that what we are looking at in States 308?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now, how can you tell that this is a spent casing?
Because all that's left once you fire ammo out of a firearm is the casing that actually holds the ammunition itself. That no longer has the ammunition. You can tell by the empty hole on the end of the casing that's photographed.
And now in States 311, where would this shell casing be inside States 311?
It is not pictured. Just the evidence placard is pictured because the evidence is under the bed near the headboard.
And if we zoom out, and I'm using my hand to cover Mrs. King, where in relation to Mrs. King was this shell casing?
It was probably around this area here, under the bed.
And would that be towards Mrs. King's feet or head?
Her head.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness again?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Investigator Martin, I'm handing you what's been temporarily marked as States 117. Will you let me know if you recognize this item?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It has my case number, my name, and then my initials and date on the original seal.
And other than any markings by the lab or the state exhibit sticker, does it appear to have been altered with in any way?
No, it has not been.
Your Honor, state moves to admit States 117.
No objection.
States 117 will be admitted.
Investigator Martin, what is States 117?
It is the spent round that was collected from underneath the bed.
Now, once you have completed documentation and collection at 4723 15th Street, what is the next step in your part of the investigation?
So prior to collection of the evidence, we contact the medical examiner to make location. The decedent or Miss Tammy King is untouched until the medical examiner arrives. So prior to collecting any evidence so that the medical examiner can see the scene in its totality, we contact and allow him to make scene first before we do any collection.
Now, while you were collecting evidence, is it you that typically picks it up and puts it in bags, or how does that work?
No, it's usually a team effort. We'll have someone that is scribing, which is writing down on the pad everything that is collected, and then the time that it's collected, who collected it. And then it's typically a joint effort. Someone will collect the evidence and someone will hold the packaging open in order to get the evidence inside. So it's a team effort, not just one person.
Now, is best practice for evidence to be collected from where it was, or do people move evidence to bring it somewhere?
No, it's best practice to collect evidence from where its location, from its original location.
Was there anything collected in this case that another officer brought to you?
Yes, there was.
What was that?
It was a note that I believe Detective Rodriguez had found the note in Terra's bedroom and brought it to me physically.
And did you document that note as well?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach this witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Investigator Martin, I'm approaching you with what's been marked as States 494. It's 2 pages. Will you let me know if you recognize these items?
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize them?
They're the photographs that I took of the document that was brought to me on scene.
Does it appear to have been altered in any way?
No, ma'am, it has not been.
Your Honor, state moves to admit States 494.
No objection.
Stage 494 will be admitted.
Investigator Martin, is the note legible in States 494?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And did you read it when you observed it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Ultimately, does it have anything to do with the death of Mrs. King, or is it mostly Terra talking about her family and the people in her life?
Yeah, it had nothing in regards to any criminal activity.
So once the medical examiner investigator arrives, what do you do next?
We typically go with the medical examiner through the scene, kind of give him a walkthrough as we're done when we first arrive on scene, and let him know like what we found. He takes his photographs, and then we move to the body, and then do any type of documenting, collection, or anything from the body area, and then he does his thorough investigation, and then once the body car arrives, the body car will remove the decedent.
So were you with the medical examiner investigator when he was examining Mrs. King?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And did you observe any injury to Mrs. King?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What did you observe?
She had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the left side of her head.
After observing the medical examiner investigator with Mrs. King and waiting on, as you said, the body car to arrive, what comes next for you and your team?
So we'll finish collecting any evidence that is uncollected at that time. We'll do a couple final, what we call final walkthroughs, just to make sure that we've retrieved everything, we didn't miss anything, nothing else sticks out, nothing else that needs to be collected. And then once the body is removed from its original location, I take photographs of where the body was at without it being present.
And once that part is completed, what comes next?
We'll kind of do like a debrief at the end, and make sure that everything has, like all the steps have been completed. And then once we ensure that all the steps have been completed, then we clear the scene and take the evidence back to the office.
And does all of the evidence go back to the office, or does sometimes it go different places?
No, so unfortunately in this case there were multiple linens that were removed from Tammy King, and we have a sterile drying cabinet that we use. Unfortunately it wasn't big enough to house all of the linens that were removed from her, so we did have an investigator transport some of those linens to the medical examiner's office, where they have multiple drying cabinets where we were able to dry those without any type of cross-contamination taking place.
And once those items are dried, what do you do with them?
So in this instance, we dried, I think, one of the sheets at our office, and then the remaining sheets and clothing at the medical examiner's office. They called to let us know, I believe it was the following day or 2 days after, that they were dry. So we went, we picked them up, put the dried items back into the original packaging that it was collected in, brought it down to the office, and then I processed those items.
When you say you processed those items, what does that mean?
So instead of sending the entire sheet to the lab, if we were going to choose to process them at a later date, I went ahead and decided to do DNA swabs of any stains that were located on these sheets. So I took the sheets one by one in the laboratory and did DNA swabs on each sheet to have for further submission if need be.
And do you also document this process with photographs?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Is the jury able to get a good sense of these sheets and what they looked like from photographs versus bringing in the full sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Investigator Martin, show me what's been marked as states 319 through 336. I believe you previously had an opportunity to review these. Do you recognize these documents?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize them?
They're photographs that I took while processing the sheets.
And do they appear to have been altered in any way?
No, ma'am, they do not.
Your Honor, statements to admit states 319 through 336.
No objection.
Hearing no objection, states 319 through 336 will be admitted.
And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Now, Investigator Martin, are there multiple sheets that you document with these photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
And what type of staining or items did you observe on these sheets?
So there were multiple like sheets that you would put on your bed. There was also like a thin blanket. Also a shirt, a white kind of spaghetti strap shirt. And then if I recall the brand like Yogi-O, I think, I ended up looking it up so that I could document it properly, and it looks to be like some sort of cover that you would use for like a special like beanbag chair almost.
And it states 323 and it states 327. Are these some of the staining that you were talking about earlier?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And is that documented throughout the course of these photos, 319 through 346?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And did a few or many of the sheets have this sort of staining on them?
Majority of the sheets have that stain on them.
Now, as this investigation went along, was there any other locations that you went to?
Yes, ma'am, there was.
Where was that?
I want to say it was 310 Waco in Lake City. I believe the apartment number was 106.
So it was an apartment complex?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why it was that you went there?
Well, I was contacted by Detective Bernard, and he said that the Tammy King's granddaughter and her boyfriend had went to this location and left behind some personal items that they wanted crime scene to document and collect.
And when you went there, what did you observe?
So initially walking into the apartment, there was a stack of personal belongings that were identified by the person who resided in the apartment to belong to Terra King and her boyfriend. And then he directed us towards a bedroom. The apartment was 2-bedroom. I guess this was an extra room of his that they slept in that also contained personal items from them. And then there was only one bathroom in the apartment, kind of shared between the two bedrooms. And there was also items in there that he brought to our attention belonged to them as well.
And for the most part, was that apartment tidy or more messy?
No, the apartment was unkept.
And how did you document the apartment?
Through photography.
Your Honor, may I approach? Investigator Martin, I am approaching you with what has been marked as states 337 through 397. I believe, again, you've had the opportunity to review these images. Do you recognize them?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize them?
Those are the photographs I took on that day.
And are they a true and accurate depiction of what they purport to be?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Your Honor, statements to admit states 337 through 397.
No objection.
Those will be admitted?
And may I follow, Your Honor?
Yes.
Investigator Martin, is this the front of the apartment in which you searched that day?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now, in stage 342, we let the jury know what, if anything, is pertinent in this picture.
Okay, so the initial picture, it was this door. So this is the front of the apartment. And then as you walk into the apartment, this is where I said he had placed a lot of the personal items on the back of the couch.
And when you say he, do you know who that was?
I believe his name was Christian.
Was he the owner of the apartment?
Yes, ma'am, he was.
And in stage 344, are you able to tell the jury what it is that we're observing here?
So this is in the dining room area of the apartment. There was also personal items that he had kind of gathered up and placed on the kitchen table and then on the chair here as well.
And what are some of those items that you can see?
This plastic container, it houses ammunition, is here. There was a rifle bag. I think it had 2 firearms in it. And then another plastic container. I know one of these was empty. I think it was the darker colored one that was empty, and this one still had ammunition in it. And then this plastic bag had a lot of trash from hair dye boxes and things that come inside those hair dye boxes.
And if I zoom in on that first clear container, was there anything identifiable on that container?
Yes, there was.
What was that?
It was the initials JK in the black permanent marker.
Is it the same manner of initials that we saw earlier on item 5, the 22 magazine?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
What is it we are looking at in stage 347?
So this is from the corner in the, I guess you would call it the guest bedroom of the apartment. This is the air mattress that Mr. Christian said that they had utilized while they were staying there.
And in stage 355, what are we looking at?
This is a firearm that was located in the closet of that same bedroom.
So we've seen that there is that long bag in the dining room area, and then there's also this firearm in the closet. Is that correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Now on stage 357, what are we looking at?
So this is a photograph of a restaurant bag from Chipotle, and it has the name Terra King, I assume using DoorDash.
And you mentioned the plastic bag full of boxes, and you said that that was all hair dye and things, correct?
Correct, hair dye, hair, and things to apply the hair dye.
And we see the edge of that gun bag again, correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Now inside that gun bag, will you let us know what we're looking at?
Yeah, so those are the firearms that were inside when we opened up the bag.
And can you tell how many firearms there are?
It looks to be 3 from the photograph.
And can you kind of generally show the jury where each of those 3 firearms is?
Sure, it looks like a handgun here, and then a long gun here, and a long gun here.
Earlier we spoke about that ammunition box. Is that those initials you were talking about?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And that's in stage 362. Now, what are we documenting in stage 363?
This was a pill bottle that was with all of the items that he said belonged to those 2 individuals.
Now, was there a name observable on this item?
There was not a full name. The last name King, I believe, was on the bottle, but I don't believe there was a first name.
And are you able to see any writing that says what it's for?
It looks to say chest pain on it, and then blood something. I don't know what that is. And then more, I would assume, would be morning.
So were you able to see what type of prescription this was for?
I don't believe that it said that. I could refer back to my photos or my notes, but I don't believe the type of medication was left on the label had been removed.
That was my next question. Can we tell that there's something kind of taken away from the bottom of this?
Yes, ma'am.
But it looks to be that it's something for the morning for chest pain, correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
And prescribed to somebody with the last name King.
Correct.
Now, in page 374, where is this and what are we looking at?
This is the countertop in the restroom area that I spoke about.
And what are those, that red document, what is that?
That is instructions from a hair dye box.
And what do we see in page 382?
Those were scissors that were also located on the counter.
And was there also hair and things observed?
Yes, ma'am, that was.
Now, through your training experience, did you come to a conclusion of what, if anything, had been done in that bathroom?
Yes, I did.
What was that?
It looked to be as if someone gave themselves a haircut and color.
Now, in states 387, what is this that we're looking at?
So there was a small kind of end table located, or entertainment center bookshelf thing located in the bedroom, the secondary bedroom, and this was located on top of that.
And did you take photos of both sides of this item?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Could you tell what this item was?
Initially, I could tell just through experience that it was a Cash App card, I believe.
Okay. And in states 388, who does this Cash App card belong to?
It has the name Terra King on it.
Now, in states 396, what room is this?
This is the room where Christian said that the two individuals were staying.
And what all do we see kind of in general on the right-hand side of this photo?
So this is going to be the little desk entertainment center I was speaking about that had the Cash App card on it.
Okay. And can you tell what any of these bottles are on the right?
I want to say that these are liquor bottles.
Okay. And then what do we see in the floor area?
That's just a bunch of food place trash.
Now, once you documented and collected evidence from inside 310 Waco apartment 106, what was the next thing that you did?
So, unaware of what all took place, I wanted to go to the vehicle that Christian utilized and take photographs of that and see if I could find anything of evidentiary value in the vehicle.
And what vehicle was it that you took pictures of and looked at?
It was a white Jeep with like blue accents, like they needed something.
And did you find anything of evidentiary value inside Christian's Jeep?
No, I did find a receipt outside of the Jeep on the ground that I did end up collecting, but further found out it didn't have any evidentiary value.
Once that was completed, what was the next thing that you did as part of your investigation?
So, knowing that they were there for 2 days, I wanted to go and check the dumpster to see if anything of evidentiary value or anything notable had been thrown away.
And did you locate anything in the dumpster?
I did. I located a few items, socks, I believe, that looked to have some sort of substance on it. Later turned out not to be evidentiary, but those were collected.
So is it fair to say that you checked multiple things and then determined if it had evidentiary value or not.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
On that day, was there anything further that you did as part of the investigation?
I took photographs of the residents once we got done doing collection, and then transported the items that I collected back to the office for packaging and submission for proper storage.
After that, what comes next?
So we all met, the crime scene unit and the major crimes division sat down and had a meeting to determine what items we wanted to process, what processes we wanted to have done, as well as what we wanted to process.
So you said you meet with the crime scene unit and major crimes. So is it fair to say that it's kind of a collaborative effort to determine what gets tested?
Correct, yes.
And what sort of things get tested in general, or what can get tested?
So the laboratory, the DPS Crime Lab, offers a wide variety of testing that can take place. DNA, friction ridge analysis, which is fingerprints, ballistic evidence, anything, you can test narcotics, just a wide variety of things that can get tested. Unfortunately, they do have a limit, so the purpose of the meeting is to sit down and decide collectively as a team the priority of the items that need to go initially because of that limit, and then determine later on if anything needs to go after that testing is completed.
And did you send anything off for testing in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You don't have to give me the full list, but what sorts of items did you send off for testing?
So we decided to send the purse, some firearms that were collected from the living room area, the .22 magazine that was collected from outside of Terra's bedroom. We also, Investigator Crow collected some pillows out of Terra's bedroom that looked to have blood on them, so we sent them as well. And the firearms were sent for ballistic and fingerprint processing, and then anything that had what appeared to be blood or bodily fluids on it was sent for DNA analysis.
Was that time, that initial first set of items, the only time that you or your agency sent something to the lab?
No, it was not.
When did you send anything else to the lab?
I could look at my notes for a specific date, but it was later on in the investigation as we got new information and things were determined. We made a determination to further send more items for testing.
Did a time come in which you obtained more evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
When was that?
Well, I didn't, but
When the agency obtained more?
yes, a search was done of like a storage unit, I assume, and things were collected from there and sent at a later date.
And ultimately, do you know where Uriah and Terra were apprehended, or were they apprehended in Galveston County?
No, to my knowledge, they were apprehended in Laredo.
And did the sheriff's office obtain any further evidence from Laredo?
Correct, yes. Detective Hudson obtained, I guess, the personal items that were located on their person. Whenever they were apprehended, they were collected by I believe, either the apprehending agency or the local agency, and then retained in their possession until we took possession.
And when you took possession of them, did you do anything with it?
Yes, ma'am, I photographed it.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked as states 398 through 425. I believe you've had the opportunity to review these. Do you recognize these items?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize them?
They're the photographs that I took.
Do they appear to have been altered or changed in any way?
No, ma'am, they have not.
Your Honor, state moves to admit states 398 through 425.
No objection.
Those will be admitted?
Your Honor, may I acknowledge?
Yes.
All right. Investigator Martin, what are we looking at first in states 398?
So this box was initially closed. We opened it, but it looks to be some sort of apparatus that goes to maybe a firearm or like a scope of some sort.
So some sort of firearm accessory.
Correct, yes ma'am.
Then it states 401. Can you tell me what we're looking at here?
So this is a lot of just personal effects, a watch, a vape, a lighter on, I think what it's called is a lighter buddy that connects to your belt loops. This is a mechanical pencil set with different types of lead, a hat, and then also this here was a red dot sight, which is also an apparatus that can be affixed to a firearm.
And what is it that we see in the far right of state 401?
A watch. Oh, and some pocket knives and then some beat headphones.
And in states 403, is this a better image of kind of some more items?
Yes, ma'am, that just includes more of the personal effects here, the pocket knives, a wall block to a phone charger, looks like some sort of multi-tool here, deodorant, socks.
What are we looking at in states 405?
And that was a plastic box of ammunition.
And is this that same box closed?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Is that similar or different from the boxes located at Christian Atkins' home?
Similar.
Now in states 407, what are we looking at?
This is a prescription pill bottle with ammunition inside.
In states 408, what are we looking at?
This is some sort of bottle. I don't know if it's prescription or not. And then it looks like two ends of either restaurant straws or the straws that come in like the Yeti cups and the smaller ones, the shorter type of straws. Plastic pieces of some sort.
In states 409, what are we looking at?
This is a prescription pill bottle that was also found with the items with the name Jaden Landry on it.
And this may sound like a silly question. Was this property located with Jaden Landry or with someone else?
No, that property was located with Uriah and Terra.
What do we have in states 411?
This is a box with tissue paper with what looks to be a glass smoking pipe for narcotics.
And is there anything with that smoking pipe?
Yes, that's a small bag of narcotics, which I assume is, well, I'm not going to assume. It's just a bag of what appears to be narcotics.
And is that because ultimately you don't test what a narcotic is, that goes to a lab?
Correct, yes ma'am.
But from your training and experience, that appears to be narcotics.
Correct, yes ma'am.
What are we looking at in states 412?
So that looks to be some sort of firearm holster, a knife sheath, and then what appears to be a wallet, and then I believe that's a money clip.
Same question. What are we seeing in states 413?
Those are firearm magazines.
Is there anything identifiable or unique about these firearm magazines?
Yes, some of them have the same JK initials on them in the black permanent marker.
What are we looking at in states 418?
This is just more like personal effects items, a small little bag. I'm unsure what that is. Maybe a coin of some sort. Charging cords.
If I zoom in a little
Yeah,
bit.
there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like maybe some sort of collector's coin, some change, just personal items, some gum. And then I believe those are like USB drives or lead. I can't remember.
And in states 420, what are we looking at here?
That's just those items removed, so those were in there. That's just laid out, and then there was change here in this thing, so we just laid that out to photograph it.
Now, could you tell, and I know it's a little hard with how bright this photo is, could you tell, is this typical pocket change or was anything unique about these coins?
Yeah, so some of the coins were $half, and then I believe there was one gold dollar, if I'm not mistaken.
What are we looking at in states? 421.
That was cash that was found and collected. I believe it was initially in this bag here.
Now, once you collected and documented those items, what came next in your investigation?
So those items were packaged and then submitted to property and evidence for proper storage.
After that, what, if anything, was your next part of the investigation?
Besides determining like further items of evidentiary value that needed to go to the lab for further processing, I just stayed apprised of the details, but that pretty much ends my involvement in the case, besides here today testifying.
Thank you. I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Agnew?
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fanning. Call your next witness.
The state calls Officer Rodolfo Salinas.